You didn't cancel plans because you were tired. You canceled because something deep inside you knew that walking into that packed room would cost you something real, something you couldn't afford to keep spending. And you were right. Most people call it anxiety. Some call it antisocial behavior. A few call it being difficult. But what if your brain is operating on a completely different level than the people saying that? What if hating crowds isn't a flaw at all? What if it's actually one of the clearest signs of how your mind is built? You're not broken. You're not difficult. You're not someone who just needs to push through it more often. You're wired differently, more precisely than you've been given credit for. And today, we're going to go through exactly why that's true. 5 reasons, backed by real psychology, and every single one will probably feel like it was written about you specifically. Point 1. Your nervous system is running a different program. Here's something nobody actually tells you. Not everyone experiences a crowded room the same way. For most people, a loud venue is just background noise, easy to filter, easy to ignore. For you, it's something else entirely. Every nearby conversation is a signal your brain locks onto. Every flickering overhead light, every laugh from across the room. Your system registers all of it at the same time, without asking your permission first. Psychologists have a name for this. It's called heightened environmental sensitivity. It means your brain processes external stimuli at a significantly deeper level than the average person around you. Think of it like this. Most people are moving through the world with standard headlights. You're moving through it with military-grade radar. It captures everything within range, every signal, every shift, every frequency. That's not a malfunction. That's a more advanced operating system running exactly as it was designed. But like any powerful system, it needs more recovery time to function at its best. More quiet, more space, more room to reset properly. Crowds don't drain you because you're weak. They drain you because your brain is doing 10 times the processing work, running constant background analysis on an environment that most people don't even look twice at. And the people around you don't even register that there's anything to process. Point 2. You see through the performance everyone else is giving. Walk into any crowded space. What do you notice first? Not the drinks, not the playlist in the background. You notice the tension underneath all of it. The person laughing just a little too loudly. The couple who haven't looked at each other in 20 minutes. The one scrolling their phone not because they're busy, but because they're uncomfortable and don't know what else to do with themselves. You catch all of it without trying, without wanting to. It just comes in. That's because your emotional perception runs sharper than most people's. Research from the University of Auckland found that people with heightened social sensitivity are significantly more accurate at reading unspoken emotional cues than the general population. You're not imagining the tension in the room, you're reading it correctly. While everyone else performs comfort, you're the one seeing what's actually happening beneath the surface. And truth, absorbed in large doses from a room full of strangers, gets heavy very fast. It layers up, it compounds, it sits on you long after you've left. It's not that crowds bother you, it's that you feel everything happening inside them. That's a completely different kind of exhausting, one that most people genuinely will never understand. Point 3. Your brain craves depth, not volume. Here's what your discomfort in crowds is actually pointing to. Your brain has specific conditions under which it performs at its best. You think most clearly in quiet. You connect most deeply in small groups. You feel most like yourself when the environment has actual breathing room in it. That's not just a personal preference, that's neurology. Studies in cognitive load research show that highly sensitive individuals have increased activation in the prefrontal cortex during social overstimulation. Your thinking brain works hardest exactly when the environment makes thinking hardest. It's like trying to produce your best work inside a stadium during a game while someone's talking directly at you. It doesn't produce results, not because you're antisocial, because you're wired for depth, not volume. One honest conversation at the end of a quiet evening means more to you than a full night surrounded by noise. You'd rather go deep with one person than wide with 50. You already knew that instinctively. Now you know the science is right there behind you. Point 4. You manage your energy with a precision most people don't have.
Other people walk into a crowd and walk out feeling charged. You walk out feeling like you just ran through an entire workday. Here's the specific reason that happens. Your mirror neuron system, the part of the brain responsible for empathy, runs at an elevated level. In crowds, you're not just managing your own emotional state, you're unconsciously absorbing the emotional states of the dozens of people around you. Their background stress lands in your nervous system. Their unspoken tension settles somewhere in your body without you choosing it. Researchers call this emotional contagion, and for people who process the world the way you do, it arrives on a completely different frequency. You're not being dramatic, you're not overreacting. Your body is reporting back exactly what the environment is doing to it. When you leave the party early, when you pass on the invite, when you choose a quiet evening over a packed venue, that's not avoidance. That's not something to be embarrassed about. That's precision energy management. That's the kind of self-awareness most people spend entire decades trying to build from scratch. Point 5. Your quiet isn't empty. It's where you actually come alive. Here's the part society keeps getting completely wrong about you. They see you leave early and assume you're missing out on something. They see your preference for quieter, smaller spaces and assume something is off. They see your need for silence and treat it like a personality flaw that needs correcting. But here's what they can't see from where they're standing. Silence isn't where life slows down for you. It's where your actual life begins. That's where your clearest thinking happens, where you feel most present in your own body, where all the noise from other people's expectations finally settles, and what's left is just you, actually you. That's not a consolation prize for skipping the party. That's the whole point. You didn't fail at being someone who loves crowds. You succeeded at being someone who knows exactly what restores them, exactly what costs them, exactly what they need. That kind of self-knowledge is genuinely rare. Most people spend entire decades chasing the feeling you get in a quiet room on a slow weeknight. You're not missing the party. You're already at yours, and yours actually refuels you. So tell me, does any of this sound like you? Are you someone who recharges in silence and genuinely struggles in crowds? Or are you the rare exception who actually thrives in them? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Team silence or team crowds? Let's find our people. If this video resonated, hit subscribe. Every week we break down the psychology behind the traits most people misread as problems.